How are you doing, YouTube? It's your friendly gamer SmartEntity here. Welcome to episode 3 of my specialized builds. This time featuring Nekros, and the specialized situation is your long T3 survivals. So I'm just in a random T3 survival with a bunch of guys from chat. Only at a 7 minute mark, nothing too crazy here. So basically, I just want to first mention that my specialized build videos are for people who are sort of mid-level, who have an understanding of the game, have an understanding of frames in general and their abilities. This is not a video meant to teach you guys or to show, all of Nekros' abilities or all of any frame's abilities for that matter. It's used to really bring the mid-level players up to the pro level. Not saying I'm pro, but I do like to think I know a few sort of extra hints about the game. So we have a Nova here, and in a long T3 survival, the Nekros' job is actually to follow the Nova around. Now, a lot of people don't like to have Nova when they desecrate, because Nova decreases the duration that the bodies are around. Now, that is true. I personally love having Nova around when I desecrate, and the reason for that is because Molecular Prime actually is an extremely useful skill for killing mass enemies, right? You press 4, you push a firing button, pretty much all the enemies in the room dies if you're in sort of your lower levels, and even reasonably higher levels, all the basic enemies die. So a good Nekros will follow the Nova around, and each time she basically do Molecular Prime and kills all the enemies in the room, you want to activate Desecrate at least 2 times or twice. And if you have a lot of energy and there's a lot of enemies in the room, you want to do it at least 3 to 4 times. And the reason for that is because Desecrate don't actually affect all the bodies in the room, it only affects some of them, and when there's a Molecular Prime activated, there's a lot of bodies, and you definitely want to Desecrate multiple times to affect all the bodies. So as you can see, even with twice and 3 times, there's still bodies getting desecrated. I will jump into the build later on to show you guys how to optimize this Nekros build. In the meantime, I'll talk about another ability quickly, and that is this Shadow of the Dead. So basically, with Shadow of the Dead, you summon enemies forth. They act like a meat shield, and the main reason I do this in the earlier games is because when they die, you can actually desecrate these bodies, which I'll show here. So as you can see, you can actually desecrate your Shadows of the Dead. Now most of the time, they just give out health orbs, so not that useful, but there are definitely applications where you need those extra health. Now I'll talk about Terrify quickly as well. Now, as most of you will know, Terrify, scares enemies away. So if you are getting sort of clustered, especially by infested, it can definitely get you out of a tough situation. But what a lot of people don't know is that Terrify actually decreases enemy armor, and that is actually magnified by Intensify. Now, the enemies right now are of extremely low level, it doesn't actually make that much of a difference, but in your high level, so high, I would say anything above level 40 heavy gunners, Terrify makes a significant difference. It definitely kills them faster, especially if you don't have a Nova around. So I will try to find a heavy gunner without Molecular Prime. So here we go, not Molecular Prime. So I'll try to find a heavy gunner without Molecular Prime, and then I'll try to cast Terrify on them and see if it is much faster killing him here. Chances are I'll probably just one-shot him regardless. So I'll try to go on my own. Here we go. So Terrify, he runs away. Yeah, I mean, these enemies are just dying. Now I'll try to find a heavy gunner without Terrify, and then just to kill him. So here we go. Yeah, so I mean, there isn't that much difference at this low level, but trust me, at your high level, Terrify makes a difference. Alright guys, I think I'll jump into the build now quickly. Alright, so we're nearly at the 35 minute mark. For those that don't know, in a T3 survival, enemy level don't increase by much up to level 20, sorry, up to 25 minutes. After the 25-minute mark, enemy level do increase quite fast. So we'll try to find a heavy gunner. So here we go. Just look at how fast your HP is going down with my Sprat level 48. So as you can see, it wasn't that fast. Now I will cast Terrify. So as you can see, his HP went down much faster, and from the sound you could heard that Molecular Prime was actually cast after the heavy gunner fell, so it wasn't confounded by Molecular Prime. So yeah, I mean, that is quite obvious, but at your 60-minute-ish, because armor scales quite heavily with heavy gunners, more so than HP, that's why your corrosive is more useful than viral at high levels, but at your 60-minute you can definitely see a significant benefit with Terrify. Alright, despite what I said before, I'll just show one more chunk of this gameplay. So as you can see, my HP now is 100. I mean, normally we'll have a Trinity in a long T3 survival, but since we don't, so Shadow of the Dead, so I got fleeting expertise on, these guys should die very fast. So as you can see, just from that Shadow of the Dead and whatever enemy fell, it went from 100 to 300 health. So yeah, just definitely some applications for Shadows of the Dead. I know normally with Molecular Prime, you know, you just desecrate enemies anyway, but if you are in a situation by yourself, Shadow of the Dead do help. You know, there's some application for it. It's definitely worth a small slot. Alright, I think we will extract now. Without Trinity, it's just too inefficient, and we're not really trying to farm anything. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and now we will jump into modding. Alright guys, so for this build you'll need a Catalyst and 3 Formers. Obviously Energy Siphon for that additional mod slot, as well as Energy Regeneration. Desecrate, Flow for additional energy bank. Fleeting Expertise for power efficiency. Stretch for that additional power range. And I like to have Redirection and Vitality in there, just so I can hold my urn and not depend on others to revive me. If you only want one of these in there, probably Redirection I would say, you can actually get away with a build, again with just one Forma. Now I've put in Terrify, Shadows of the Dead and Intensify in there, because this is a specialized 60-minute plus T3 survival build, and the justification for that is, in addition to causing enemies to run away from you, Terrify actually also decreases their armor, and the ability for this ability to decrease armor is increased by Intensify. And Intensify also increases the amount of shadows that you summon with Shadows of the Dead, and this is useful because you can actually desecrate the shadows once they fall. And I always like to have a rush mod on, and with Nekros that does help. Not just for, you know, activating those oxygen supplies when you're at 1%, but also so you can actually follow the Nova and actually do desecrate once Molecular Prime activates and kills 20 enemies or whatever it is. Now, I use Fleeting Expertise here with a decrease in power duration, and the way I see it is this actually helps me because increase in power duration causes these shadows to fall faster, which will allow me to desecrate them more efficiently. The minor impact on Terrify is also good because with Terrify, if they're affected for a long period of time, they'll run away from you for a long period of time, which is not what you want. You want them to obviously decrease in armor, you want to kill them, you don't want them to run away from you for, you know, 10-20 seconds. You just want them to run away from you for a very short period of time so you can kill them fast. Now, if you do want a Desecrate optimized build, what you want to do is take away the Intensify, take away the Shadows of the Dead, put in your Overextended, put in your Streamline. Do be aware of the 75% efficiency cap. And you can obviously take away Intensify and put in whatever you want. Now, personally, I don't like to put Overextended here, just because all the other mods I found are useful. And if you are, you know, doing it in a proper team without anyone trying to, you know, be a hero by themselves, stretch is more than enough. The only place where I see overextend to be quite useful would probably be in your, say, dark sector survivals, where in a random game everyone's all over the map, in which case overextended do obviously help a bit. But in your top T3 survivals, everyone should be on the same book, everyone should be staying together, in which case stretch should cover it all. I don't have streamline here because with only a 75% efficiency cap, you're not using streamline to the full effect, and all the other mods here I found just to give me a better effect in your top T3 survivals. Alright guys, I'll upload Trinity in the next few days. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.